Hey guys, I am back and today I am going to be doing the first update to my Pan Those Eyeshadow series. I started this last month. I will link the playlist that I've created for this project down below so that you can watch the intro and but also so that as we go along, all these videos will be organized together. If you missed my last video, please check it down below and then we will get straight into the progress for this month. So I rolled in 4 shades last month, and I want to talk about the shades that I'm rolling out because of my, they conflict with my Pan That palette rule, and then I'm going to get into the other shades that I have more progress on. So the first that I am rolling out is this MAC Dusty Rose x9, and I had the shade Dance in the Dark, which is this deep brown, and it just... I have other deep browns that I'm panning. It doesn't exactly conflict directly with the shades that I'm wearing today, but I have to use either one or the other. So that is why I am going to be rolling this one out, just because if I want to, I would rather just focus all of my energy in my Pan That palette and make really good progress on that this year than try to pan too many browns at once. The next shade that I am rolling out is from my Tarte 2017 Holiday palette, and it's the shade Genie, which is another matte brown. So that is, I used Dance in the Dark once and I used Genie twice. And then after I used them, I tried creating that same look with my Pan That palette, and I was like, yep, can do the exact same thing. So that's why I really only use them once and then twice right at the beginning of the month, and then have not touched them since. But this is a beautiful palette. Honestly, if I could roll in one of these shimmers or one of a matte that complements maybe this teal or this lighter really pale lavender shade, if I could roll one of those in from this palette, that would make me really happy. I just don't want to just be panning a bunch of matte browns and be overusing them, and I just want to focus on my Pan That palette. So both of these are going to be rolled out for this project, and then that leaves me with the 2 palettes that I rolled in that I've been really focusing on. So the first is my Laura Mercier Eye Art Artist palette, and I had the shade Guava, which I used 5 times. I'm gonna quickly insert a video of what it was looking like last month. And then here is what it is looking like this month. There is a little bit of a dip forming. You can see it right there when the shadow hits it. So I do think it would be possible for me to hit pan on this shade. So I am going to keep focusing on it. My goal is to use it. I used it 5 times this past month, and then I was really focusing on my other shade, and then I had a couple different, I guess, occasions where I just played with makeup, which was super fun. But as I'm moving into next month and I'm really just wearing makeup on a more routine everyday basis, like what I'm wearing today, I'm hoping I can use this 10 times. So get some good use in September, or the end of August and early September. And then the last shade is from my Buxom Boss Babe Dolly palette. It's the shade Last Call, and I'm going to show you what it was looking like last month. And here is what it is looking like this month. So clearly I've been using it a lot in this center area. There's a little bit of a dip, sorry, I'm trying not to blind you, starting right there in the middle. I can feel it with my finger and with the brush more than you can see it. I think that maybe shows it off the best. And I have been really loving this shade. I featured it in a palette bingo, which I will link down below, because I wanted to experiment with these palettes in my Pan That palette, and I'm going to do something similar with this palette coming up. And then because I was really focusing on using up two really beautiful warm peachy lip colors in my 20 and 2023. I was reaching for this all the time. So there is Guava, which is just a really pearly, pretty, almost like a golden sheen pink, and then this is like a peachy gold, almost like a Nars Orgasm-esque shade. So these are the two that I'm going to be moving into next month. I don't know if I mentioned it. I used the Buxom Boss Babe Dolly palette, or the shade Last Call, 8 times. So I'm thinking if I can use it, based off of the progress that I have no clue how deep these pans are, but it's not a particularly thick palette. So I'm guessing that I have 10 to 15 more uses left on this before I will hit pan. And I would say my goal for this upcoming month is to use it 5 times, because I want to kind of focus on this a little bit more. Last month it was mostly this, and this next month I want to switch things around. So that is my goal. 10 uses on Guava, 5 uses on Boss Babe Dolly. And now let's roll in the next shades. So I'm going to take my random number generator on my graphing calculator, and I'm going to randomly generate 2 shades to replace Dancing in the Dark and Genie. And honestly, if I roll in a matte brown, I think I'm just going to roll in a new shade right now. So I'm just going to, I have a total of 245 eyeshadows without pan in them. I did hit pan on a shade in my pan that palette, and that's why that number has changed. So I want to roll in a shade between 1 and 245. And the shades are 96 and 95. Okay, so let's see what shades those are. Are both matte browns. Okay, one second. 95 and 96 are the shade Sienna and Rustic from my ABH Soft Glam palette. So I'm just gonna do this again, and I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen, and we're all gonna be okay with that. 56 and 137. If it was 1 matte brown in the Soft Glam, I might have done it, but 2. 56 is the shade Festival from that Tarte Holiday palette. And then 137 is the shade Supernova from my Nars Ignited palette. Okay, here we go. Okay, Festival from that 2017 Holiday palette is kind of a light matte brown. I am going to keep it in and see if I can use it in a way that does not conflict with my Pan That palette. Just because it is a different brown than the browns in my Pan That palette, and I don't want to just keep rolling in things just for the sake of it. So I'm just gonna have this in for at least a month, see how it compares to the other shades, and we'll go from there. And then the shade Supernova from my Nars palette is, don't want to blind you, this shade right here. Yes, okay. Which is another kind of orangey, peachy shade with a beautiful shift to it. It almost flashes like pink in the pan. Yeah. Oh, I love this palette so much. I'm so happy this got rolled in. Okay, so this is my new color story for the upcoming month. It's really funny that I rolled in my cool toned eyeshadows, my focus eyeshadow on my Pan That palette, because that is clearly not happening. We've got some pinks, some peaches, some oranges, and yeah, I am excited for this color story. So again, I'm going to focus on Guava as kind of my focus shade. I think it'll work well with the other things that I'm trying to do with my other project pans for the next at least 2 or 3 weeks. And then I'm just gonna play with these other shades and see what kind of looks I can come up with, and just kind of vibe, see how things are going. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any ideas for what I can do with this color story. And thank you so much for joining me today. Please let me know what you think of my progress down below. Do you think that I'm starting to make some progress on the 2 shades that were in last month? I think I am, but I don't know. And other than that, I hope you are having an incredible, awesome day wherever you are, and that I get to see you in a future video. Thanks, guys.